Call this meeting to order.
Recording stopped.
This is the
Recording in progress.
Weber County Commission meeting dated June 7th, a little after 10 in the morning, and we welcome you all here. We will start this meeting this morning with a Pledge of Allegiance by Melissa Freegang. Jill, can you do it?
If I remember from.
Well, all you got to do is, hold on. And then after that, the invocation will be given by Craig Brandt, and I will do a thought of the day. So, Jill?
Would you like us to rise?
Oh, please rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we thank Thee for this beautiful day. We're grateful for the sunshine. We're especially grateful for the rain we have received recently and pray that it can continue to come. We thank Thee for this wonderful country and for this special county that we live in and its citizens that make it worth all the effort to serve and to provide for them. We thank Thee for the trust that Thou hast placed in us, and ask on this day that Thy Spirit will guide these discussions as needed, that we'll be able to make decisions that are in the best interest of the county and the people that live within it. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Well, Thought of the Day by Scott Jenkins.
Wow. Here we go. Wow.
Here we go. So, you know, we all do uncomfortable things in our lives occasionally, and you don't hardly know what to think about them. And I've been doing an uncomfortable thing this spring. When I go out into my garden, traditionally I've irrigated that through, you just put a row down there, put a hose in the row, and you irrigate your crops. Or you put a sprinkler on it and sprinkle it.
Yeah.
Well, with our watering restrictions, we've been restricted how often we can water our gardens. Well, this year, they said if you do a drip system, it's unregulated. You can water it all you want because you're limited in the amount of water you put on. So my brothers and I got together, and we purchased online the drip equipment you need for your garden. And it's a piece of flat tape with a little emitter in it that you run down your rows, and then you tie it into a manifold, and there's a little pressure regulator on there that just allows 10 gallons a minute to go through at 10 pounds of pressure. And I'll be danged, you know, that really works good. And so your row where your crop is ends up being wet, and all the rest of the garden isn't. And so the weeds don't grow as much because they're not getting watered. And my vegetables that are getting the water, they are absolutely flourishing. I'm just quite amazed by this whole process. But what I'm even more amazed by is how little water I'm using. I used to use a ton of water in my garden. You know, it was you don't worry about it. You have it to use, so you flood it, and there's a lot out there, and you just let it go. If it gets a little overwatered, who cares? But this year and the last few years, we do care. So anyway, it's been very, very successful venture for me, and it's something I would highly recommend to everybody else to consider doing drip in your garden. So that's my thought of the day. Something new that I haven't ever tried before.
Wow, that's good. That's wonderful. If I could do a garden in Huntsville, I would.
Well, you can do a garden up there. It has to be stuff like raspberries.
Yeah.
Something that can last about 2 months, yeah.
Right. Yeah, your growing season's so short, you don't get anything else. That's why up at Bear Lake, it's raspberry days. 'Cause
Raspberries work.
that's about all they can grow up there. All right. Thank you.
Good thought.
All right. We would like to go to the next item on the agenda, which is public comments. If we have anybody in the congregation. Whoops. Yeah. If we have anybody here today that would like to give us comments on what's on the agenda, we'd love to hear them. Freudian slip, do they say? Anyway, appears none today, so we'll go on to the next item, which are the consent items. The consent items today are item 56-400. Well, anyway, the items today are the warrants as listed on the agenda for $462,769. Item number 2 is approval of purchase orders for $66,325.78. With that, we're going to stop and have Mr. Lynn Taylor give an analysis of those.
Thank you. Summary on the largest of these, we had 8 purchase orders totaling $66,000. 46% or $30,000 went to IT for cloud service renewal, 25% or $16,000 to the transfer station for fuel and temporary staffing, and 15% or $10,000 went to janitorial services for the Weber Center. Of the 144 warrants totaling $462,000, the largest of these, 42% or $193,000, went to the Recreation Department for softball field light replacement and tower roof replacement. 15% or $69,000 to the library for software maintenance, an embroidery machine, books and materials, and utilities and building maintenance. And 9% or $44,000 to the jail, provided a forklift for the warehouse and medical services.
It's rare, Lynn, that we have a warrant report so small. You normally don't see that. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Taylor on this?
Not for me, thanks. Good job.
Okay, see none. Then we'll go to item 4, which is a request for approval of the minutes of May 31st. Item 5 is a request for approval of ACH payments for the U.S. Bank in the amount of $247,968. Item 6 is a request for approval of business license. Item 7 is a request for approval of a new beer license. Item 8 is a request for approval of a donation of Prop 1 fees in the amount of $71,945 to the Trails Foundation of Northern Utah for construction of a new section of the Weber River Parkway. Item 9 is a request for approval of a contract binding between Weber County and Utah State University Extension for the 4-H to provide a practice facility for the 4-H members. Questions, Commissioners, for any of our consent items? Not? I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve consent items as listed on the agenda. F, as in Foxtrot, 1 through 9.
I have a. That's
Make
right.
fun of me.
Yeah.
I had to look twice to make sure Harvey wasn't on my
No,
left.
I want to make sure he understood the motion.
Do I happen to have a second to that?
Alpha, absolutely.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, they're approved. Oh, my. It's good, isn't it? What happens here sometimes. Okay, next item is action item G, which is a request for approval of memorandum of understanding by and between Weber County and the Weber School District to develop a formal collaborative partnership between the Center of Excellence and the Weber Adult Education. Mrs. Freegang.
Good morning, Commissioners. Excuse me.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you.
Morning.
Good morning. So I am not going to take very much time on this particular agenda item. We always invite our partners to come talk to you. We feel like they have a really good perspective to provide to you. I just want to remind you of the educational outcomes. I've been up here before and talked about them with our intergenerational poverty families that we're dealing with and working with ongoing. So we have 0% of our families that are post-secondary. So that's been since 2017 that data and statistic has remained the same. We currently have 23% of our families that are active, and they are pursuing post-secondary. It's because we have great partners like the WEBER School District to help us with adult ed. Most of our families do not have a GED or even a high school diploma or equivalent. So with that, I'd like to introduce Madeline to come up and speak about the WEBER School District and adult ed.
Good.
Thank you, thank you, Melissa, and good morning, Commissioners. It's good to see everybody. Commissioner Farrar especially. It's been a while.
Could you state your name?
Oh, Madeline McDonald, and I have Ginny Thurgood.
Very good, thank you.
All right. And we do have a couple of slides I'd like to share. How do we get those up on the screen for everybody to see?
Hold on. Here we go.
I'm technically challenged. At best, it's the garage door opener. Okay. You know what I mean, right?
We get it.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. So let me just ask the commission and our audience, who here in this meeting today has heard of WEBER Adult Education? By a raise of hand. Does anybody know of anybody who's graduated from our program? By a raise of hand.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Did you know that we've been in Weber County for the last 60 years? We're the best kept secret in Weber County. But I think with us being here today and partnering with the county, I think things are going to be a lot better. Another interesting fact is that there are about 18,000 residents in Weber County today that do not have a high school diploma or a GED. So we have some work to do, and I think we're doing it. In fact, WEBER Adult Ed has grown tremendously under the leadership of our current director, Andrea Woodring. She sends her apologies. She flew to France yesterday. So Ginny and I are here today to present a little bit of data for you. Our enrollment has grown from about 220 students to this year we've reached 714 students. 599 of them are actively involved in school, engaged in school, and all of our classes are taught in person, so direct teaching with very limited online teaching, which I think helps a lot. And there's an interesting data point that I'll share with you that is aligned directly to that. A national average is it takes about 8 tries for an adult learner to come in and out of a adult ed program, meaning they walk through our doors, they register, they pay their fees, and they don't come again, right? They've struggled through K-12, and they continue to struggle as they try to finish their high school diploma. Our school year will end here at the end of June, and currently right now we're tracking at about 169 graduates, which is amazing. Last year we graduated about 113 students. So with the direction of our principal, Andrea, we have really grown and put a lot of effort into meeting the needs of more of our students and getting them ready, as Melissa said, for that post-secondary step. We partner heavily with Ogden Technical College, and we actually have some of our classes up on their campus. We also partner with Ogden Weber Community Action Partnership, and we have a couple classes at their some of their sites. And our administrative offices are next to our Two Rivers Alternative High School. However, we are 2 separate schools, so just want to be distinct on that. Another interesting fact that I think the commission needs to be aware of is how we're funded. Yes, we are part of Weber School District. We do not receive any funding through our district. We are 100% funded through the Utah State Board of Education and community grants. So we have been able to grow our program to what it is today, and we have some tremendous outcomes that we'll be sharing once our MOU is signed with our partners here at the with Melissa and her team. Ginny, am I forgetting anything? Nope. Okay. Wrote a couple notes, and I just want to make sure. Okay, we're going to go ahead and share another slide with you. So this is some of our data. So when students come to us, we assess them, we give them some tests, we find out where they are, what they know, so we know how to place them in classes. We do not just rubber stamp students so they just come in and get their diploma or GED and then they're gone. We actually are teaching our students something. And the slide that you have up on the screen is actually old data. This morning, Andrea sent me the June data via Paris, and I will read you those new numbers. Bear with me for a second. So MSG on the top left is measurable skill gains, and so the center number, so Weber Adult Ed, we're tracking at almost 46%, which is quite significantly above the state average. There's about 40 different adult ed programs across the state, and we are in the top 5, and that's with regards to our enrollment and then our results. And so students come to us and they test when they come in and they test when they leave our program, and so students are definitely growing in their skills. The level gain is, again, we are tracking well above the state average, and these are the TABE assessments, are the testing for adult basic education. So those are our entry and exit exams. And then the last data point I want to share with you is the amount of time students are spending in our classroom. And the data from June is 124 hours, where on the slide you're seeing is 111 hours. The state average bumped up to 97 hours. And I think that shows a lot to our teachers and our in-person instruction. So students are coming to us and they're putting in the time and they're learning something before they graduate. I'm going to pause there. Any questions, or am I missing anything? Okay. All right. So what does this MOU mean? If you want to go ahead and hit that next slide. So by working with the Prosperity Center of Excellence and having a resource integration coach be part and embedded in our team, we'll be able to sit in our weekly meetings when we talk about students and go into our student data and be able to percolate up some of the students that are struggling with just chronic intergenerational poverty. And when we enroll students, we also have them do a little survey so we know what some of their top barriers are, which are childcare, transportation, time to come to school, technology, and then low literacy rates. Often our students come into us reading at about a 3rd grade level. So you can see why school has been a real struggle. So with working together, I do believe that we'll be able to help connect our students to some of the community resources here in Weber County to be able to help change that trajectory out of that chronic intergenerational poverty. And I think by helping students connect with post-secondary and what's next after high school, I really do believe that we will make the citizens of Weber County better off for it. Jenny, did you want to say anything?
Sure. So I'm Jeannie Thurgood, and again, like Madeline said, we are just here to bring a little bit of light to our program within the school district. It is amazing how you go into a program assuming the bad. Everybody assumes the bad, right? When I moved into the adult program, I came from the junior high level, so my expectations were not much. And it's interesting to see the different stories that people have and the different trials that they have to go through on a day-to-day basis and throughout the years. The reason that it takes them 8 times is because of embarrassment, children, life, right, all those things. And so we want to provide a space for them that when they walk in our doors, those barriers are no longer a thought. And they can come and they can just escape and do what they want to do and do what they love to do. And they want to be educated and they want to be there. And so we want to try to provide the most beneficial services that we can to help them move across those barriers. Not only that, but as well as helping their children. So within our ESL program that we have, we do family literacy nights. And we have the kids go into separate rooms and they do family readings and things like that. And then our ESL teachers will take the parents and teach them basics to help them go home and read a book to their kids where they might not have been able to do that before. And so it's a really great opportunity for us in our community to help thousands and thousands of people close that gap in their homes and in their family. I'm going to tell a story. We have a student who started out as ESL. She's taken every class that we've offered this year. In April alone, just to give you an idea, we had 27 direct teaching classes, and she's taken every one of them. our direct teaching classes change month to month. So we have a lot that we move through them quickly. Her house caught on fire. She lost her car, she lost her garage, and she showed up to school. She walked from Clinton to show up to school on 12th Street. So these students are dedicated and they are looking for more. And that's what we hope in moving forward, that with this MOU, that we can help and have more people behind us to help raise these people up and help them become a better part of our community. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions?
Just a comment, if I might,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. So, Madeline, it's great to see you. You've always been actively involved in this community from education standpoint, and this is just another opportunity to showcase your skills for this county, and we do appreciate it. I'm excited about these partnerships that we see. The way that we have forward for people in this county that are in poverty or that may be underemployed right now is education. And obviously with education, it gives them the ability to advance and be more beneficial to the community and their families especially. So this is just another partnership. I think it's an opportune time to mention Ms. Freegown. And yesterday I visited one of our other partnerships with the Red Barn Academy down in Davis County. That's why I was a little late showing up to work session. And that's just another great partnership that takes people that out of our incarceration, out of our jails, and gives them the opportunity to succeed through education and hard work. So I think that, at least from my viewpoint, these partnerships that under your direction, Chair Jenkins and obviously Melissa, we're starting to see some good beneficial changes in this county. And I think that, from my seat that, and I've always, as you well know, questioned the validity and the benefit of these partnerships. We're starting to see that. At least I'm starting to see that. And so, again, I appreciate those efforts. So thank you very much, Madeline, and your team.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes, Ms. Thurgood, Ms. McDonald, thank you so much for educating us this morning on what you're doing. I didn't have any idea that there was a Weber County adult education, and for a minute when you first started your presentation, I thought, well, maybe that's something I should take.
We'll make room.
But I appreciate you caring enough for those who are a lot of times are wanting more. Super impressed about your story. Anybody that'll walk that far, continue to be diligent, that's really great. Thank you for that. I hope that, I know that's a shining example, but I'm sure there are others that are not quite as fiery, so to speak. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You bet. So, Commissioner Farrar and I were in the legislature, and so we got a report every year from the state school board on adult education. So I was aware of what you do, and I was aware of your funding. And it's been interesting. For 16 years while we were down there, we watched that.
We did.
And I was very impressed with what you've done, and I agree. I think it's got better and better as time's gone. I think Superintendent Stevens has put a fair amount of effort into that, at least the reports he gave us over the years. And so I believe under his supervision it's actually grown. And anyway, I'm excited about the MOU, and thank you very much for considering it and working with us, and let us work with you. We appreciate it.
It's an honor. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. So, Commissioners, motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Very good. That passes. All right, second item is request for approval of an agreement by and between Weber County and Weber Morgan Health Department to detect and mitigate the spread of COVID in homeless sites and other congregate living facilities. Melissa Freegang, please.
Yeah, good morning again. Thank you.
Good morning.
So as you all know, when COVID hit, we had to really marshal all of our energy and figure out what we were going to do with COVID. Because we are the center of Excellence as a part of the Weber Morgan Health Department, and I was on the leadership team at the time. I was able to do all response and recovery for homelessness for individuals who were experiencing homelessness in COVID. We had 3 outbreaks. We had over 250 individuals experience COVID. We had 4 deaths in our first outbreak. And in our last 2 outbreaks, we did not have any deaths. And we were really proud of that. At one point, I had over 115 consecutive days of coordinating medical volunteers to go into the Q&I, which is the quarantine and isolation facility that we converted from Weber Human Services that we ran as a center of excellence. When we had our first outbreak, we outgrew that tremendously. We went to 110 people who were COVID positive, and we had to convert the Lantern House and move people to hotels. I mean, it was a huge mobilization of about 200 people inside of 1 week to get everybody squared away. Huge in part to our partners and multiple people. We've talked about that here. But the last 2 outbreaks, it's been super interesting because as the rest of the county has moved on, and I'm not going to politicize masks or anything like that, but COVID is still alive and well. And when you have people living in congregate living settings and they are on the streets and they're unsheltered, there's a lot of, it's really easy to pick up communicable diseases. And so COVID's still alive and well. This grant is from the Department of Health. It's coming through the health department to us to have an FTE to help me continue to mitigate and do all of the things that we've been doing for COVID related. So with that, I just want to thank you all, or both, or all 3, or for this stuff, for everything that you've done, the commission. I have the opportunity to chair with Senator Escamilla the Women in the Economy subcommittee now of the Governor's Unified Economic Opportunities Commission. And when I got done explaining what we were going to do with the subcommittee, the governor talked about how the work in Weber County is the best kept secret in the state of Utah. And I'm super proud of that. I'm proud not only for the work that we're doing at the Prosperity Center to integrate, we're doing criminal justice and homelessness and intergenerational poverty, but it's all the same people and it's all the same work. It's just for people to understand it, we have these sort of silos that we're talking through. But I also want to thank, economic development and Stephanie and Sean and community development and you guys especially. It's everybody's work that we're doing. And so I was there to hear the praise, and I'm really proud of that. But I wanted to just share that with everyone because this doesn't happen without all of you. So I just wanted to take that privilege. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It should be known that during all this that she mentioned, she lost her assistant, Danielle.
That's right.
And so that put double the load on her and her department. And a fair amount of this work that was done at that time was done by Melissa in person. Because there was nobody else to do it. So she was working late hours and weekends, and a lot of hard time for her and her team. And so we appreciate so much what was done. All right, so to that, Commissioners, this agreement to Weber County and Weber Morgan Health Department. Questions?
No.
I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion that we approve the agreement between Weber County and the Weber Morgan Health Department.
Second.
Very good. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, third on our list today is approval of a first reading of an ordinance amending the fees for the Weber County Transfer Station and other solid waste fees. Sean Wilkinson.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So as you mentioned, Commissioner Jenkins, the Solid Waste Division is requesting a fee ordinance amendment, and this will help to improve operational efficiencies and cover costs for services provided at the transfer station. This change is necessary due to inflation and increased costs for salaries, benefits, fuel, and other operations costs. In addition to this increase, the county's solid waste transportation and disposal contract with Republic Services calls for an annual increase of 3%. We absorbed that fee last year. However, due to additional fuel and transportation costs that Republic has incurred from its transportation subcontractor, MBI, the 2022 annual increase is 7.9%, or $2.03 per ton. With both of these increases, the transfer station's tipping fee for general waste and construction and demolition waste as of July 1st will increase by $3.65 to $44.14 per ton. Other fees that are increasing at the transfer station include $5 for each mattress or box spring over 2 per load. Screened fine mulch will increase from $15 to $20 per yard and from $4 to $5 per bag. And colored wood chips will increase from $25 to $30 per yard and from $5 to $6 per bag. This ordinance also adds the fee schedule for our residential solid waste collection and disposal services currently provided by Republic Services and Waste Management. A residential solid waste collection and disposal delinquent payment fee is also being added. This fee is for properties certified to the county treasurer and collected by the county's property tax notice, billing, and collection system. And that fee will be a minimum of $10 and up to 25%, whichever is greater. So those are the changes proposed as part of this fee ordinance amendment, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions, commissioners? We should be aware of this. We've talked about it several times. In sections, not as one little thing, but we've talked about the fact that fees have been going up by those who collect them, and it's just part of inflation, right? What's happened with gas and wages?
Yeah, nobody wants to see fees or costs go up, but unfortunately in today's world, we don't have any control over that, at least that I think most of us would admit we don't. But it's good that we do this in small increments. I mean, if we look back at the history of the transfer station, Sean and a team out there, Commissioner Jenkins, again, that's in your portfolio. If you look at what condition financial-wise we were in 4 years ago, we've totally flipped that scenario, gone from a huge loss. And in my opinion, we can't go down that road again and 3 or 4 years have future commissioners have to raise taxes to cover a loss. Let's do this in small increments, especially as we see these inflationary times. So as much as nobody likes to see it, I think it's a wise investment for the citizens of this county.
Right. Thank you.
Keeps things healthy. I'm in support of it.
Very good. As you say, Commissioner Ford, the indebtedness out there's gone away because of what we've done. And we've got to make sure that we continue to take care of this. And I agree, this is just part of managing our budget. Small incremental increases instead of big. And as Sean mentioned, last year we absorbed it. Yeah. We didn't charge an increase last year, and the increase that took place, we just absorbed because we were healthy at the time and felt like we could do it. Well, this is just too large. We can't do this one.
I agree.
And it's not that we're not healthy now. It's
stay healthy.
That's right.
That's absolutely right.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah, we don't want to take a step back.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thank you very much, Commissioner Harvey, for that comment. All right, well, I'm looking for a motion then.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the this is the first reading of the ordinance amending fees for the Weber County Transfer Station and other solid waste fees, as presented by Mr. Sean Wilkinson this morning.
Second.
We're going to have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. It's approved. Thanks, Sean. All right. Fourth on our calendar today is a request for approval of contract by and between Weber County and Kilgore Companies, LLC, for the mill and overlay project of Highway 162 from the post office north to River Road. Mr. Gary Myers.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
County Engineer.
Yeah, thank you. For your consideration, I have for you a contract with Kilgore Companies. We went through the competitive bid process on this and solicited bids. Kilgore was the winning low bid on this contract, and we have their contract for your consideration in front of you.
Questions, commissioners?
No, I appreciate the I appreciate the explanation in advance of this meeting so that we have all the details we need to make an educated decision.
You got it.
Gary, give me the amount of that contract again.
I was just looking for that final amount. I thought I had the print off in front of me, and I didn't get it off the printer. Was it on the list?
I thought I pulled that up, but I can't.
I can't remember the exact number,
But
Commissioner.
our portion's
It was about $140,000.
Okay, because I just say that's not a huge distance.
No, we actually got a great price on this work, and
Huh.
for the level of,
I've got that up and the price isn't on it.
That's what I was wondering.
yeah,
So roughly 140,000.
yeah, right around there.
I remember our
It was
work
a mill and
session deal.
overlay on it.
Yeah.
Okay, all
So-
right. No other questions, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Harvey, any?
No, thank you.
Very good, waiting for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve this contract with the Kilgore companies to do the overlay.
Second.
Very good, motion is second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, they pass. Thanks, Gary, we appreciate it. Final today is ratification of the 2022 Weber County sales tax. Anyway, that we get, and that'd be April Hatfield. April, welcome. Our revenues, I should say.
Yeah, it'd be the
Very good.
tax sale.
It's the tax sale. Good morning, Commissioners. All right, so the county completed its 2022 property tax sale on May 26th. As you know, the tax sale is one of the least favorite parts of our job. Weber County never wants to sell anyone's property, but whenever we are required to, it's only to recover the taxes, penalties, and interest owed on the property. Any bid over that amount goes to the original property owner. If we're unable to find them, the overage goes to the State of Utah Department of Unclaimed Properties. The tax sale auction is a result of 5 months of intensive efforts by more than just the clerk auditor's office. The recorder surveyor, the treasurer, the attorney, they've all spent hours and hours reviewing property ownerships, descriptions, payments, balances, current laws and ordinances, and all of the other details that we have to have correct in order to get this done. We're grateful to everyone that helped make this year's tax sale one of the most uneventful events, tax sales that we've ever had. As always, I'd like to extend a special thank you to Roger Brunker for sharing his expertise, many years of, and assistance. He's a tremendous help and support in this process. In this year's tax sale, along with the usual legal language, we introduced a direct and plainly worded warning to bidders to do their due diligence. And based on the outcome of the tax sale, I think it was well received by everyone who was there. We started this year with a low number of just 78 properties that were eligible for the tax sale, compared to last year's beginning number of 95, and the year before that was 129. We're happy to see a steep decline in the number of properties that are delinquent. Due to Weber County's commitment to its residents, there were only 5 properties up for auction at the tax sale, and they were all what we call abutting properties, small slivers that aren't really useful for anything other than the people living next door. So 3 of the 5 were bought by people that own the property right next to them, and that should make them easy to combine those small strips into their larger parcels. And the other 2 parcels had no bids and were struck off to the county. As a reminder, Utah Code allows a 10-day period after the sale for anyone with concerns about the sale to submit those concerns to the commission before the tax sale is ratified. The commission then has the opportunity to address those concerns before making a final decision. The clerk auditor's office is not aware of any objections. So if you would have any questions of yours for me.
Commissioners, any questions?
No, great, that's a great report.
That is a great report.
Yeah, with only 2 coming back into county hands, that's very good. I mean, that's something that we always tend to deal with sometime down the road, so appreciate your hard work on that, work of the treasurer and the clerk auditor.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting, April, people think that the county ends up with this property, these are ill-gotten gains, but from our point of view, we do not want these pieces. Like you say, so many of them are little parcels, or somebody ends up with a strip of property somehow, and they find out 4 or 5 years later that they can't use it, and so they just stop paying taxes on it, knowing full well that we will eventually come and take it from them, and they actually want that to happen because they can't use it.
Exactly.
So it is really hard to deal with these. In fact, since I've been here, that's probably been the one thing we've tried. Sean and I have met, and we've looked into these, and we've tried hard. And we've got a few pieces of property here and there that we've got rid of, but just not many. I contacted Mike Bachman the other day because he's a friend of mine, and he had a piece of property right between behind his bee company there. Well, he didn't want that property. He said it's got a tree on it, and that tree had 3 trunks that come out, and it was a liability. And he said, I don't want that. He says, if that tree falls on somebody, I'm going to get sued. And so we ended up going up there, and we cut the tree down, we removed the stump, then he would agree to take the property, it was a piece from about here to that back wall that was about 6 or 7 feet wide. It was kind of a triangle piece. And he finally took it, and all it did was it cost the county about $8,000 to remove that tree. And so that's what it costs to get rid of these pieces of property. This is just hard. So April, we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
All right, is this something we have to ratify? We do have to
Yes.
do that. So Commissioners, I need a motion to ratify this.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we ratify the 2022 Weber County tax sales presented today by Ms. Hatfield.
Very good, I have a motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Thanks, April,
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
gentlemen.
it. All right, Commissioner comments. This would be your time. What do you got to say?
Oh, I'm speechless.
I can't imagine that.
Boy,
All the years I've known.
that makes me speechless to hear him speechless. I mean, my gosh, that's never happened before. None for me, Mr. Chair.
With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.